the 12th fret on the D, the 11th fret on the G, and then I have the 10th fret on the B. That's a really, and then I can reach for that 13th fret, that minor third of the A. Hey, in this video, I'm going to go deeper into exploring the different scale shapes we have, because every shape has its own advantages, and we don't see that because we get stuck in the most comfortable of them. But you can actually make other shapes more comfortable, because I rarely use just the blues scale. I use the Dorian minor as well, or the natural minor if I'm playing in that environment. And that means adding 2 notes to the scale. In the key of A, where we have the first position minor pentatonic, in the 5th fret, I would add that on the top 2 strings, the 7th fret, and then in the 4th fret on the 2 middle strings to the mix, right? And then that 7th fret on the low E string, the A string remains the same. And that gives me some more options to play with. And in this video, we're just going to investigate. We're going to have fun with the 3rd position. This was one of the, I got the first, that's really nice. The 2nd is really messy. The 3rd looks like it's symmetrical. It's easy to remember, but playing in it is just because I got my 2 minor thirds completely out of sync here, from the G to the B string. But once we do this, we must not underestimate, us guitarists, the power of shapes on the fretboard. Because if there's anything that can push us out of the usual things we play over and over again, it is that we play in a new shape. And when I'm soloing, and I'm suddenly, just finding myself a little bit boring, if that happens, I need some creativity, then what I do is I limit myself to be creative. And that limitation is a shape, is an arpeggio, is, something that gives me a new sound. And then that new sound is going to inspire me to play different things, which is such a cool approach. And, we can do that on the fretboard where we have this visual map of the notes. We don't have that on a piano. It's just the same notes, in every octave. So there aren't really shapes on a piano. So you can't use that for inspiration, but we can on this guitar, on this instrument. And we should use that all of the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out how can I push the 3rd position a little bit around so it creates a new sound for me, so I want to go there because I got something comfortable to play, because I've arranged the notes in a comfortable way, and I got a new sound that can inspire me to go, hey, that's nice. A really wacky blues scale sound because I'm adding some notes, taking another note away, and then boom, suddenly I have a playing ground that's going to push me to another place with regards to the notes I use, and that's going to inspire me to do something new. So let's have just a quick look at, close up here, the 3rd position, and let's do something about it. In this course, I have taken, after 40 years of experience, the 1 or 2 exercises per technique, which is sweep picking, legato alternate picking, economy picking, or directional picking, that will mean more to your development than any other single thing that you can do. So sign up right now and let's start building some monstrous skills. Look forward to seeing you in the course. So normally in the 3rd position, this is the 1st in the key of A, right? And then I have my 2nd position up here, which is kind of weird as well. And then I have my 3rd position up here, which is, I have my 10th and 12th fret on the top E string. And then on the bottom E, I have the same frets, naturally. And then 10, 12 on the A, and 10, 12 on the D. So that's pretty promising. But then I have this two times minor thirds. I had the same thing here, but they're 1 fret apart because of the standard tuning. So I have the 9th and the 12th on the G string, and I have the 10th and the 13th on the B. But then always in blues, I always add the Dorian notes to the mix. So I have the 9th here in the 1st position, right, in the 7th fret, and I have the 6 here, right, the big 6, in the 7th fret as well. So basically I just put in a note just right before the pinky there. I can do the same thing here, right? But because of this little construction of notes here, it actually feels pretty comfortable to leave this note out. I'm not dropping it completely, but I'm just basically, how about replacing this note with the 6, and then play the scale like that. Oh. How is that for a sound? That's incredible. And I got a major third suddenly right here. Right? From the, and I can fit inside that shape. I have the 12th fret on the D, the 11th fret on the G, and then I have the 10th fret on the B. That's a really, and then I can reach for that 13th fret, that minor third of the A in the 13th fret. I had the blue note there, I should say that, in the 13th fret on the D string. And I got it in the 11th fret on the low E and the high E string. Right? So that's an interesting shape. Right? Right, so. Right? Really cool sound. And then what I can do apart from that is I can also use my minor third, but then I'm including that note again, so I can go. So now I'm starting getting some really cool options here, and I have neither one of these in my first position. Right? I have to play, like, that's the triad, the major triad. That's uncomfortable. That's not straightforward like this, right? And then the minor third is really cumbersome down here as well. So I got some really cool stuff going on here. Right? How about for inspiring fretboard patterns here that I can carve out in the shape as well? I can go, you know, one whole tone and a semitone there, because I got my, this is the 8th, so this is the first part of the, right there in the shape. So I have that there. And then I can play these two notes, right, including my 6th and the 7th, and leave this out, and then play the same. But now this is the blue note, this is the 12th fret, and the 10th fret, right? So I can play. Right? And then the root note right there. Right? So by doing these things, I can create a playing ground for me where I can get some new sounds out, which is really, really cool. So now that I have something that sounds cool and it's comfortable to play because I, arrange the note in a different way, then I have a new shape. I have some new options. Now the next step is, of course, to create some lines within that shape that I really, really like. And I can do that. If you want to do that yourself, you can simply put on something in the background and then start saying, right, or that again. Right, where I use my, right there, I use that major triad, or I use, right, and then I can start to create some lines that challenge my fingers just a little bit, and then practice it over and over again, put on a jam track, and then really have fun with that line, with that arpeggio. Right? And once I sit with that line, I sit with that, that little shape over and over again, get more and more comfortable with it. I end these lines using that lick, that line, then gradually it becomes really comfortable to stay there. And now you have a spot on the fretboard where you can go from your first position, once you're tighter, right? You can go, right? You can go and produce that new sound with confidence because you've been spending time there around this line. And, of course, in the upcoming program, here comes the advertising, I got a ton of lines that's going to teach your fingers and your brain and your body to move comfortably in these patterns. And they're all based on what is comfortable, what is easy, what will stick with you. Because if I'm going to give you like finger gymnastics, you might practice that and you might become pretty good at it, but you're not going to use it. It's not going to stay with you, right? So we want something that's really nice to play, that feels good and that sounds good.